Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is actually my very first video ever, so I feel supremely honored that you're watching this, and I hope that already we can be friends. And I love Booktube, I love reading, I've been part of the community for a while, so I figured what better way to introduce myself to it than with the Booktube Newbie Tag. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Guys, my cat is intent on making this video difficult. If you have a cat, like, you know. 1 second. Hi, say hi to the camera. So I actually, okay, he doesn't want to be in here. So I actually already have the questions pre-written. I have written them down in this notebook. They are not pre-answered though. I wanted the answers to come really organically. So let's just jump right in. First question, why did you start this channel? I started this channel because I really would love to make some friends. And I've been part of the Booktube community for a while. Like before I was even pubescent, I've always loved to read, I've always loved literature, and YouTube's been around. It's not like TikTok where it really blew up more recently. So I love reading, I love Booktube specifically, and I have a desire to make friendships, and I've seen the kind of connection that you can have with an audience when it comes to Booktube, when it comes to getting book recommendations, when it comes to sharing your reading and having people care, because if you're a reader and you're not surrounded by a lot of readers, I think you probably understand that you don't have a lot of people who are particularly interested in listening to you talk about books, because if you don't already love reading, some people can find that really boring. And I really seek and desire this community where I can meet with like-minded people and make some friendships and really interact with you guys as much as I have interacted with people whose videos I watch. So that's what inspired me to start this channel. Question number 2, what are some fun, unique things you can bring to Booktube? So my personality, obviously everybody has like their own unique characteristics, and I really hope that you guys will like me for who I am and what I have to say. Has he been there the whole time? Hi. Do you want to be in the video? Can you stay there? Good boy. Good boy. Like and subscribe for my cat. Also, I also just feel like I have a lot of different perspective on books that I read. A lot of times I'll read something and I'll look it up on like YouTube, Reddit, wherever you get your book information from, and I'll have a particular thought or opinion or just like something that really stuck out to me, and there will be discussions and conversations about books, but very rarely, as far as like the books that I'm looking for or that I'm reading, are they talking about the things that I want to talk about. Like there's a lot out there, and it somehow never ends up being what I want to talk about or what I want to see discussed. So I feel like I can bring my own unique perspective and thoughts on conversation to certain books that maybe haven't already been discussed, or because it's not like I have only original ideas. Maybe there's just something that I already kind of know about and talk about, and I just want to contribute what I have to contribute. And yeah, I mean, if that didn't sell you, like, again, subscribe for the cat. Number 3, what are you most excited about for this new channel? I really want to make some friends, guys. Like, I really want to connect with you. I want to get book recommendations, because it can be hard out there to find books that you like. There's a lot of things that get recommended that are not so good. I've fallen victim to that myself a couple times, but I want to make new friends. I want to connect with you guys. I want to learn about new books. I want to tell you about books that I read that sometimes I feel don't get enough hype, and just really be part of this. Like I really want that sense of community, and I really want to contribute, and I really want to connect with you guys because we have this common love. Come here. Can you stop messing up? Can you stop messing up my video? If you want to be in my video, I need you to just like look cute. Just sit there and look cute. He's like trying to swat away my decorations. Question number 4, why do you love reading? I love reading because, 1, I'm introspective. I love to read things that put me in a different headspace, make me think about situations or circumstances that I probably will never be in, especially if I'm like reading fantasy or something of the sort. But I love being immersed in a really good story, and I love when that story makes me self-reflect on my feelings, on my thoughts, you know, how I would handle something, how I feel about the way the character handled something. I tend to learn a lot about myself in that way. And the best books, in my opinions, are the books that make me think and make me wonder and make me self-insert in such a way that I feel like I've come out different. I think those are the best stories. I also love reading just because it like scratches something in my brain when things are well written. When I see a sentence or a paragraph that like beautifully illustrates a feeling or a moment, that does something for me, something big actually. So I love reading for that reason. Question number 5, what book or series got you into reading? I've always loved reading. It's always been a fact of my personality. I know that there's a lot of people, and not to say there's anything wrong with this, but there are a lot of people who can pinpoint a particular book or series as the thing that sprung off that love of reading. And for me, that's just never been the case. You know, so long as I have memory, I have memories of reading, even though, of course, at a younger age, the reading was a lot more elementary. Like in elementary school, I wasn't reading big classics that came later, but whatever books that were available as kindergarten, I was eating those up, and so on and so forth. And I've never not loved or liked reading. It was never a thing that I developed. It was never a thing that I discovered. It's quite literally just been a fact of my personality, and I still consider it that to this day. Question number 6, what question would you ask your favorite booktubers? I would ask them, can we be friends? I know I really want to be friends with you guys. I really want to be part of this community. I really want to connect. So if I had the opportunity to speak with my favorite booktubers, I would just ask them that, like, hey, let's collab on a video. Let's exchange book recommendations. Let's grab virtual coffee and, you know, discuss, you know. So that's definitely what I would ask them. And now that I'm making videos, maybe ask them some tips on content creation. But overall, I would just want to ask them, you know, let's be buddies. Question number 7. What challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome with your booktube channel? Definitely feeling comfortable in front of the camera. Right now I'm talking to my iPhone, so I'm not as comfortable as I would be. I feel like I definitely have a lot more expression if we were just speaking in real life, and I'm hoping that's something that will come with practice, and it'll become easier, and it'll just be a much more natural feeling as I do it more, especially if I'm able to connect with you guys more and, you know, talk to you in the comments and hear your feedback, so that I'll actually feel like there's somebody on the other side of this. But I do think that's something that'll come with time. And also, I can procrastinate, and I'm hoping that never really affects this channel. But that is a challenge to overcome as well, procrastination, because I do want to be consistent with posting, and that's just something that I'm projecting as an obstacle to overcome, alongside the comfortability. So those are probably the 2 things that I hope will ease with time, but are also, just to answer the question, like the hardest things that I will probably have to overcome. Number 8, when did you start reading? I've always been reading. I started learning to read maybe when I was like 4, and I'm not saying that at 4 years old I was reading, you know, Dostoevsky. I just reading whatever was available, you know, Leapfrog. I was reading Leapfrog, guys, and I've always just been reading, so that's just always been thing. Question number 9, where do you read? I read wherever I can read. I am a very busy person. I have a job that requires a lot of time from me, so I just read when I have the opportunity. Sometimes that's at my desk, sometimes that's in bed, at the end of the day, at the start of the day. I have noticed that I really like reading outside because I appreciate sounds of life, like kids playing in the background, a car driving past in the distance, leaves bustling, that kind of thing. So I am getting more into the habit of reading outside. I hate reading by artificial light. I really like natural light, so preferably during the day. I'm a lot more likely to read than I am at night. But essentially, I will just read when I can. If I only read under the right circumstances and conditions, I probably would never get anything done. So whenever I can, wherever I can, most likely, you know, sitting at my desk, but I do try to also make the effort to read outside because I do prefer that. Last question, what kind of books do you like to read? I like to read literary fiction and I like to read fantasy. I love literary fiction because it gives me that experience that I'm looking for, essentially, of like, I want to think, I want to get perspective, I want to be in like what the heck situations, I want to force myself out of my comfort zone, at least in a mental capacity or an intellectual capacity, and literary fiction does tend to do that a lot more for me than any other genre, alongside the fact that they do tend to have the more unique and interesting stories. At least that's what I've come across, because of course with genre fiction there are tropes to every genre, and that's not to say that there's not uniqueness, of course there is, but I find that I do tend to gravitate towards literary fiction regardless of the genre. Just like reading the back of the synopsis, looking over my favorite books, that most of them do tend to be within that realm, because I do get more of what it is that I actually seek and desire from reading from there. And in between that, because sometimes literary fiction can be quite heavy, I love to read a good fantasy. It is more of a newer genre that I'm getting into, so please leave me recommendations down below. But that is one that I like as well, fantasy. Specifically fantasy with women, which there aren't enough of, but yeah. Let me know your recommendations if you have any. So that is it for the Booktube Newbie Tag. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, then we're friends. And please put your name down below and tell me what you like to read and tell me why you like Booktube. And I promise I'm going to respond to every single person. I really, really am excited to be doing this. I'm so excited that I'm doing this. I know I said that, but I really am. And I'm really grateful for you watching this video, and please stay tuned for the next one. See you guys next time. Bye.